everybody, Jonathan Cronstead here, president of Kajabi, and I am so excited for you to be plugging in to another Kajabi hero story. This is going to be an opportunity today for us to meet Kate Patchett. Kate, say hi to everybody.
Hi, how's it going?
Oh, it's going awesome. And thank you so much for joining us. And Kate is a Kajabi hero, and she actually has some pretty unique passions that she brought online and is using Kajabi to share them with the world. Kate, how would you describe in, let's call it like an elevator pitch or just a 30-second soundbite, what is your niche online, or what are you currently teaching people?
So right now I support women entrepreneurs who are visionary women. They tend to call themselves soulpreneurs. And what I do is help them access their inner guidance system, deepen their intuition, and really bring out their innate psychic abilities so that they can have unwavering confidence in their life and in their business. It influences decisions, what they do with their clients, how they interact with their family, and even in terms of making money or bringing into their life, like manifesting what they desire. So all of these things are intertwined, and that's the gist of what I do.
Very cool. And you know, what I love about Kajabi is it really is a vehicle that Kenny and Travis created that regardless of the passion you have, it's something that you can use to share it with the world, package it, and have that information live in a way that others can really benefit from it. And you brought up a lot of very interesting terms to describe what you do. And it's funny because when I hear psychic, I think I almost immediately gravitate towards it being telling the future. And it sounds like for you, this is much more of a journey of amplifying, calibrating, and honing those internal gifts that we all have, you know, whether it's that gut intuition that you get, or the vibe that you have when you meet somebody, or the energy feeling you get when you walk into a room. It sounds like it's much more about bringing all of those into alignment and learning to leverage them to create more confidence in your decisions and in your path.
That's absolutely what's going on. I personally I try to not predict the future, because people have free will and things that they choose can influence an outcome, but they might be on a trajectory towards a certain, outcome. However, like you said, what I'm focusing on with people is actually their inner energy system. I work with chakras a lot, and teaching them a framework on how to understand it, how to access it, and how to practice reading themselves, reading their own energy, working with that, and then bringing that into their life in terms of relationships. And I also am very focused on bringing it into their business with helping them create their content, create their signature programs, and marketing ideas as well come through, like more in this flow state, let's say. And then also with how they interact with their clients, how they're doing their coaching work and stuff like that. So,
so when you look at this body of work that you've amassed in helping people learn to hone these skills and leverage them in their life, when were you introduced to the world of online marketing? When did this whole internet thing come into your life?
Oh my gosh. If I really go back to it, it was more when blogs were exploding, and that was like the thing to do. And I tried doing that. That was years ago. I hadn't even thought about that. And then I got into like looking at affiliate marketing, and I started making my own website stuff and I dabbled a lot, and then coaching stuff that kind of exploded. And I think that it just came up in my news feed at one point. It was about the same time actually that I saw Kajabi come out, like refresh renewed. I think it was like the new
well, hold on. If it's right around when Kajabi came out, how did you find out about Kajabi? Like when did Kajabi come into your life? Because I remember when Kajabi came into my life, so I'd love to know when it came.
I'm not sure if it's when Kajabi came out or when they refreshed and like made it what it is now. It was like
so if we go back
a couple of years ago maybe.
Okay, so that would have been new Kajabi, because Kajabi Classic actually came out over 7 years ago originally. Wow. Yeah, if you can imagine, 7 years ago.
So cool.
So it sounds like you got to get reacquainted with Kajabi during new Kajabi.
Yes.
And so,
and I remembered it from when I saw the advertising for it, and I watched the guys do their videos about it. I was like, when I'm ready to do a membership site, and do a course, I'm definitely, because I knew I wanted to do an e-course like from the beginning. I wasn't focused on coaching stuff at all. I wanted to reach a wide audience, have a structure that was like an online class, and Kajabi stood out to me big time. It just seemed so streamlined and organized, and it's only gotten better since I first heard about it. So
well, we appreciate that. When you when you look at what I would call a very high touch business, you are literally working with people and helping them rewire aspects of their life to hopefully get greater confidence and greater results. How do you do that through digital education? Like when you look at putting your content on Kajabi, how do you tailor it to that person? How do you construct your content in a way that you're able to create that transformation, even if they're down the street, another city, another state, or another country? How do you do that?
So are you curious about how I'm integrating it into, let's say, like I have a group program, so everyone's onboarded into the membership site, and they have weekly dripped content, and it ranges from PDFs, videos, and audios. The audios are meditations at the moment. The videos are slide presentations that I have a voiceover on and I'm teaching. And then PDFs are more like the journal stuff, and everything I can choose to have them download or not download. So I have a bit of control over that content, which is awesome. So I'm using all the different learning styles in my presentation. And then I do have live calls with them as well. So we talk about what we're working on, and they get all the awesome, like you guys send out automatic emails, so I don't even have to follow up and do stuff like that. So that's how it's working for me. That's what I'm using Kajabi for the most, so. Is that what you were looking for?
Oh, no, absolutely. That's a great answer. And it's something that I think what I love about your answer is you shared that you're not only leveraging the standard content of I have a body of work that people will go through, but you're also leveraging the audio portion. So it's like if they're not watching you on screen, they have something that they can engage with daily when they're having their meditation or reflective time. And then you also have the live component as well. So even though it's a standard curriculum, it probably feels very highly tailored and individualized. So I think it's great that you're blending all of those pieces. So when you look at your journey in online entrepreneurship, tell me about what that journey was like. Did you wake up one day and say, I'm going to build an online business, and all of your friends and family rallied around you and said, this is a brilliant idea and you're going to succeed massively? Or did you have some moments where either you doubted yourself or the people around you doubted you? What was your journey to get here like?
Yeah, people didn't get it, first of all. And I remember I told someone, I want to teach people about meditation, but I couldn't articulate at the time what I meant by that. I didn't mean like, I'm going to teach you how to just sit there and breathe and be quiet. Like it was way more involved than that. So people didn't understand the concept of what I was talking about, how it would be delivered or anything like that. I definitely had thoughts rattling around on how to do it, and I sought out the information for it. But the support or the belief that I could do such a thing wasn't there until I actually started showing results and having success in, attracting clients, making sales and all that sort of thing. And now, people do understand what I'm doing. If they're not in my group or in my online space, it's still a foreign concept. But in terms of doubt and doubting myself, it definitely came up, but it was like a process I had to go through in order to understand even better what I needed to teach my clients. So I appreciate that experience, that part of my life.
So when you look at the day that it got real, so the day that you got your first online transaction where somebody bought something from you, what did that feel like?
It was freaking awesome. It was like, oh, this really does work. I can do this. And it honestly grew rapidly from there because I wasn't charging enough for my time. At the time, it was just me doing single session stuff. And I actually raised my rates. I think I doubled them and it wasn't a big number, but I doubled them, and people were still like, yes, I want this. And I realized how much of a need there was for what I had to offer and what I was sharing, and that my unique perspective or what I was teaching was something that they, first of all, couldn't find elsewhere, and they also liked my way of doing it. So it just, that kept fueling me and built my confidence just by doing it. And then my one-on-one work with my clients led to how I'm able to create the content for my group program work, because it just gave me the structure, the content, the know-how, the stuff that I knew my clients, my ideal dream clients needed. And it's all coming to fruition, and it's only going to keep getting more stuff added to it. I believe I'll keep adding content to my my program, which is a 4-month program, by the way.
Well, so before we gloss over, because you said something that I think is really important and that I see our Facebook group talk about a lot,
okay.
was you set your pricing and then you raised your prices because you said you weren't charging enough. When you first set your pricing, was that the result of, I went out, I did a whole bunch of market research, or do you feel like you were pricing too little because there was a nervousness about, will people accept me as a teacher? Will, it's interesting because I see a lot of people, especially early on, it's very common to undercharge for your services or your expertise.
Yeah.
Because there's this self-worth battle going on of,
Absolutely.
Will I be accepted as an expert? Will I be accepted as a teacher? And if I price it low enough, no one will be mad. It's like, okay, if I only charge $5, no one will care about $5. But if I charge $500, oh my gosh, people are going to be so mad. Like, was that your experience, or how did you arrive at your pricing, and how did you arrive at exactly?
So I've done a lot of money mindset work. I don't know if that's a familiar term or phrase, but what I've learned is that when I'm undercharging, I'm energetically drained. Obviously, I'm trying to not undercharge at this point, but when I was doing that, I was energetically drained, but also the quality of the client was like they weren't as committed, or they're just testing things or just dabbling. And as I've raised my rates in my one-on-one work, it actually attracted a higher caliber of commitment from my dream clients, as opposed to people that were just kind of effing around, quite honestly. I don't know. It was just the way that people view it. They look at you're a leader when you're charging a fair, higher rate, honestly, because that establishes your, I want to say your expertise, also as a leader, a person you can trust, that sort of thing, because you're saying I'm worth this much, and therefore they're going to gravitate towards that. It is an energetic thing. So like with my program on Kajabi, I actually started as like a beta, and it's not priced exactly where I want it. It will be in the next round, but that's where I felt comfortable. So yeah, there was like a nervousness, like, am I going to deliver? Am I going to feel like I'm going to get all my content out? Because by the way, I've been creating my content as I go. Like, I have an outline, but I've been making it every week. I'm in the middle of it right now. So it's really a fascinating process. Yeah, so I think that it's important for people to know their value and know that not only are you showing up saying I'm worth this much, but people are going to, the right people are going to come to you, and that they're going to also see that value in you as well. And it becomes a more easier give take, a more fluid experience. You're not going to be like draining yourself on these cheap things that you might be selling, or feeling like you have to, explain it away or something. You just have to step into that role and say, this is what I am worth, and that's it. So
let me ask a question for the benefit of everybody that is going to be watching this, listening to this. If you knew then what you know now, do you wish that you had started with higher prices at the beginning? Like, would you have set your prices at the level they're at now? Or
I would not have.
Do you kind of, let's assume, because I know you said you view it as like a journey and you
Mhm.
appreciate the experience. If you
Yeah.
knew you would have still had the experience, do you wish that you had started charging more earlier?
Um, hmm. That's a really interesting question.
Well, that's why I'm here. I'm supposed to ask the interesting questions, right? Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah. I honestly got a lot out of what I went through. However, I think I would have started out with my smaller sessions higher right away instead of doing a couple free ones and then like some at a very ridiculously low rate. I would have definitely started out a little higher than that. But would I be charging like automatically where I'm at? I feel personally I wouldn't, but I also believe that it's totally possible to just start at that point that you want to be at right out the gate. But you have to be like totally feeling into that and really having that confidence. That's where it'll come into play, is being able to believe that that's exactly what you're worth and that other people will see that, and that the self-doubt and the judgment of others isn't going to be a factor.
And so the things that you talked about with pricing that I really want to make sure we drive home is you did share the fact, regardless of when you're listening to this, the first step, as you can tell for Kate, is she got started. She didn't know the perfect price to choose, but you got going. Mm-hmm. And then you sort of found the pricing journey be something that as you moved up in price, mm-hmm. it not only did a better job of establishing you as an authority, but it also attracted more of your ideal clients. Because when people pay, they pay attention. So it sounds like the price raise not only brought you a healthier business, but it also brought you more clients that were more committed, yeah, that you liked as well. So I really appreciate you sharing that, because I think price is one of the most underrated leverage mm-hmm. points in a business that people don't normally. It's like, I'm so stressed, I have no hours in the day and I'm so busy, but I'm not making enough and I'm not that happy. And it's like, well, just raise your prices. Oh, well, I couldn't do that. Well, but mm-hmm. good, because if you doubled your prices, you'd only need to serve half as many people, and exactly. the half as many that you serve may be completely different. So it's really great to hear that you went through that experiment. Yeah. So when you look at your time online and your time with Kajabi, mm-hmm. when you look at the things that you wish you had known sooner, or you wish you had done differently, or looking back over the journey, things that you wish you had done earlier, what thoughts or advice would you give to people that right now are either starting out or maybe looking to, maybe they've gotten going, but they're looking to get where you are as a Kajabi hero, or maybe they are a Kajabi hero and they're looking for some of the golden nuggets that you've had on the journey that they can apply to their business?
The first thing that comes to mind is that I wish I had made some sort of mini course and just run with it instead of kind of going around full circle and taking this longer route to doing exactly what I knew I wanted to do. And I'm doing what I thought I should do to get there. That being said, the longer route kind of gave me a lot more depth in my work. So that's a great thing. But I could have created something that I could have started selling like right away, because there's always something that that someone else doesn't understand, or that maybe they don't have time to go and like search the internet for all the little details, and you could just put together because it's like your zone of genius, right? So that's the one big thing I wish I had done, was maybe make like a 4-week course, or even like a 7-day little program, something that would have really gotten people to be interested in what I was doing, and they are putting a little bit of their energy in terms of time and money into going through some process of learning with me and experience. And that would have developed more of a connection and ongoing community. I already do have one, but I've developed it a totally different way. So yeah, that would have been nice, I think. And, making some residual income off of something like that, where it's not a live program, it's more of an evergreen thing. I think that would have been nice. And I'm going to be doing that, but it seems a little backwards to me.
And so, got it. So you would have made a smaller product and mm-hmm. gone to market sooner.
Yeah, like right away. And that really ties back into confidence, which is funny because it's what I teach now, right? But the confidence piece really comes into developing your psychic skills. So, but this is more believing in what you're doing in general so that you can present that to people in some fashion. I mean, I started going on, like videos live on the internet, making sure that people were seeing me and connecting with people, networking events, things like that. But if you have a product you could sell in your little email funnel, some little thing even, just to get people in the door, they're going to start paying attention more because they're investing in you and they're getting to know you through what you're teaching. So it's a really beautiful symbiotic relationship there that I think supports having a solid community that is active and they're going to open your emails all the time, that sort of thing. So yeah, that's like the main thing I can think of that I would have loved to have done for sure.
And so if you look at what digital entrepreneurship has meant in your life, how has your life changed since being introduced to this idea of leveraging technology, leveraging Kajabi and online business?
Well, that's an interesting thing. I was a kitchen and bath designer for 11 years, and I have a whole career behind me, and I was working for someone else. And then I left and I was focusing on my massage practice. And that turned out to be not quite enough for me financially, basically. So I needed something else. And so my life has changed. Like I've done a 180 since I started working for myself because I now can sustain myself in ways that allows me to do things that I couldn't have done before. I get to travel and go and visit people, my friends when I want to, and I have ease in my schedule. And I'm also my own boss, so I'm directing my day. It's something I love to do. So that's really it's created a lot of openness and ease in my life. And not that it's not been like there's been moments of struggle or moments of what am I going to do next kind of thing, but that's also the exciting part, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. That isn't the everyday I know exactly what I'm doing and nothing's going to challenge me kind of deal. Like this is definitely a challenging and fun way to live your life.
So when you look at those moments of struggle mm-hmm. that you were, maybe ready to quit or just immensely frustrated, mm-hmm. where did you find the motivation to push through those barriers? What drove you in those moments of just like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this?
The fact that I've gotten to a certain point, and I've made it this far, and I might have a couple of days where I'm like sorting out how I feel or what's going on, what I need to do next. But then it's really a shift in your perspective and being like looking at the long view and being like, what are my long-term goals, big picture, and not getting so caught up in like a moment to moment, because when you're doing your own business, there are a lot of highs and lows in the beginning. I would call myself still in the beginning phases. I've been working for myself a few years. I hope that I start to level off, like in terms of income, and actually not level off, like I'm not going to make more, but obviously like not have such highs and lows. So that is when those moments happen, it actually created a spark for like an impetus for more action, because I realized, well, maybe I'm not bringing my A game, or maybe, I need to do something differently. And so I had to get creative and change my perspective and not get down and like want to give up. I can't say I've wanted to give up because I feel that I can't. I feel that because I have a house, I have, car, and some like a sibling living with me. I'm very responsible for a lot of stuff. So giving up is like not an option.
So really, it really sounds like what you've done a really good job with is connecting very strongly with why you're doing this. Mm. And it seems like that's something that when you have those moments where it's like, oh, the page won't connect, or I don't know how to do this, or, things that for someone who is in it as a hobby, those are the moments where they're like, yeah, this is tough. I'm going to go back to watching TV. But in
I don't
those,
watch
in those
TV.
moments, you know, you kind of reconnect with like, well, no, this is why I'm doing it. This is who's depending on me. This is why it's important. It sounds like you've kind of also connected a lot of the experiences in your life of, you know, the travel, the freedom of your schedule. And these are all very real assets that when those challenges come up, that's what kind of helps you bust through them.
Absolutely. I wouldn't want to give up my way of being, my lifestyle. I mean, it's what allows me to be here and be able to talk to you right now in the middle of the day, you know. I can't go back to not being my own boss. That's all there is to it. It's like non-negotiable.
So what is your favorite part about being your own boss? Like, is it the scheduling freedom? Is it the, you know, fact that you have no dress code at the office? Like what would be like, what's the one thing that makes being your own boss the most exciting and fulfilling for you?
I definitely like being able to do my work whenever I want. And because I am a hard worker, stuff gets done, but it's definitely not on the timestamp of someone else's schedule. I do find that I am sometimes worried about like what my neighbor might think, like she's always home, what is she doing, you know, stuff like that. And my parents are like, oh, it must be nice, you don't have to get up at 5:30 a.m. Like, yeah, I'm not a morning person, I never will do that. Like, it's just not going to happen. I know early bird gets the worm or whatever, but that's just not my way. So like the freedom of time, of how I use my time, is the biggest, like, I think that's the biggest like payoff in a way, is
so the time freedom is the one that
yeah.
It's like, man, that's the one that I'm driving for and I'm going to protect with my last breath.
Yeah, you know, like here's a good example. I have a goddaughter. She lives like an hour away. The day before her pre-K graduation, I was told that, hey, come up. And I was like, okay, I can, because I happen to have some space in my schedule. I would have had to take time off of work and get permission from someone else to do that before. And now I don't.
Yeah, no permission required. So I've got two more questions that I would love to ask you. So okay. If you look at Kajabi, what would you say is your favorite Kajabi feature? Like what is the area that you most love playing with?
Well, I have dabbled with the website part, and that's cool. I already have a website, but I may use that in the future. The thing that I worked on and developed in a day was my membership site. It was awesome. It's just like everything just kind of clicked together. I tried different themes, and I found one that really works for how I want the content organized. And I use the membership site pretty much, like it is in use every day because I have an actively running program. I sold that program like within a week of signing up for Kajabi, and I've definitely paid off my investment for the months to come. So
wow, that was awesome. Fast.
Yeah, super fast. It's fast in a way. I had already planned out my content and was already talking about it to people, and there's all kind of organic word of mouth stuff for this round. And then after that, I'm going to be advertising like more, full force for it. But it's going to be like my signature program. It's what my focus is. I will incorporate some one-on-one work with the people, but the membership site's going to be there for a long time.
Awesome. And so if you knew that this video and this interview is going to be, on our blog, and there are going to be people that are seeing it that are probably asking the same question you are, asking, can I do this? Will people view me as an expert? Should I share my knowledge online? If you knew you had an opportunity to speak to those people, what would you tell them?
Well, first of all, you definitely need to give yourself a chance. You have to try. And the thing that's going on in the background, the feelings of uneasiness or uncertainty, if you can just kind of ask yourself, where is that coming from? Who's judging you? What is it? You? Is it someone else? And how important is that to you in the broad scheme of things? Your purpose, your passion. Like, do you want to live your life and let's say a year from now be like, well, why didn't I start that? Now someone else might be doing it. Or you might feel like you've wasted a whole year because you were scared. Like, I've had moments like that in my own life where I've held off on things and you're like, oh gosh, I could have been done with this by now, or I could have had something amazing happening with, my online program. So that I always feel like the time is now. And the sooner you start and start actually taking steps, taking action, things start coalescing for you. And it brings the things in your life that you need in order to make it even better. So like, don't worry. Just trust that you're already following what's in your heart and what's in your gut, and also your connection, intuitively. And then everything will start kind of blending into your life. And what you can't see right now will start to be shown to you as you choose it. You have to choose it, and you have to choose yourself. So there we go.
Awesome. Thank you very much for sharing that with everybody. And when you look at just starting out, and, for those people that are going to jump in, how did you start getting your following? How did you start, amassing your email list or getting people interested in your world and what you're going to talk about? What did you find was the fastest path to building up your audience that you'd eventually offer your coaching services and your courses to?
I do have a bit of a unique path on that one. I networked with some higher level coaches, like my own coaches, and just started offering sessions or to be on calls with their clients that came after me in their group programs. And I got some one-on-one work from that. But I also, was in the online space within Facebook and doing live videos in there, doing ads on there. And I can't say I didn't really start doing ads until earlier this year. So a lot of it was organic, word of mouth, and I started a group, and I was doing some of just snippets of my work in there. So I was sharing parts of my abilities, parts of my story, parts of myself with people for free, but then it came back to me like tenfold, people just kept kind of being magnetically drawn to me. But now I'm trying to be a little bit more bring it back from that kind of flowy organic state to having some structure behind my marketing plan and having it be an ongoing consistent thing so I can keep attracting people and make that steady income I mentioned earlier, as opposed to have that up and down. So that's where I'm at right now.
Sounds awesome. Well, you're right. Very unique path. And I love the strategy of, the people that you've supported or worked with in the past and saying, hey, I'm looking at doing some cool things. What could I offer to your world for free? And, be able to work together. So what a great joint venture approach.
Yeah.
So Kate, those are my questions. Pretty painless, right?
Oh, it was awesome. I enjoyed this.
Awesome. Well, do me a favor. We'll go ahead. We'll sign off on our interview for everybody. And
okay.
Just let everybody know, hey, I'm Kate Patchett, and I am Patchett, and I am a Kajabi hero. And you say your name right, not the way I screwed it up.
Okay. I am Kate Patchett, and I'm a Kajabi hero.